Hi, I'm Gabby from 𝒂𝒑𝒆💂💂💂💂 Have you ever met someone who speaks really good English? They're not a native English speaker and they have not studied English in the classroom? It's hard to believe, but these people do exist, and I know many of them. I remember when I was in Brazil, I met a lot of really good English speakers, especially one friend I had named Pedro. And I asked him, how did you learn to speak English like a native? You really sound like an American English speaker. And he said, well, my secret is I watch a lot of TV series or Netflix series or movies, a lot of media in English. And this is a great way to study. So in this video lesson, I'm going to suggest Netflix series that I recommend for beginners, intermediate, and advanced English learners, as well as my tips for how to use Netflix effectively to improve your English fluency. Again, I'm Gabby from 𝒂𝒑𝒆𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 confidence with hundreds of free lessons and my premium complete English course. So make sure to visit 𝒂𝒉𝒄𝒓𝒂𝒂💐. Now, let me jump into recommendations. I'm going to start with beginners, and then intermediate, and then advanced. So if you're an advanced English speaker, you could skip ahead and use the timestamps below. For all levels, Netflix series are a great way for you to practice your American English accent. This is great to train your listening skills and your speaking skills. I'll show you how at the end of this lesson. But for beginners, one Netflix series that I highly recommend is Magic for Humans because, well, besides being super fun, you can listen to simple directions like hand me back the card, or numbers, counting from 1 to 10, or choosing a card, or choosing a number. And so you're going to be exposed to a lot of basic English directions and numbers and things like that. And it's really fun because you can watch the magician make people disappear or do fun or funny magic tricks. On that note, what's the difference between fun and funny? Because many of my intermediate English learners often mix this up. Fun is something that amuses you, that you might think, oh, I want to do that again. This is fun. Funny is something that makes you laugh. So this show, Magic for Humans, can be both fun, because you'll want to watch it again and again, and funny, because you might laugh at some of the more amusing magic tricks that they do on the show. Intermediate English learners, I have 2 suggestions for you. The first one is if you're into relationships, watch Love is Blind. This is a show that's interesting because you get to see what different people will do in order to spend the rest of their lives with that special someone. And this is good for the intermediate level because there'll be some challenging vocabulary, but it's still easy enough for you to understand what the main idea is, even if you don't know every single word you hear, and that's okay. My other suggestion for you, if you're an intermediate English language speaker, is 100 Humans. I love this show because it's about human behavior. It takes questions or assumptions about the way that humans behave or what we might assume to be true or false and actually proves it right or wrong with scientific studies using a controlled group of human subjects. So if you like to know about human psychology, behavior, and you like the scientific approach to things, you will love this show. Not only that, but I think it's good for intermediate English speakers because you can see what's going on while they explain what the experiment is. So I think this is really good because you can understand what's going on even if you don't understand every single word they say. Plus, I think it's really interesting, and it's important to watch something that you find engaging, unique, and easy to follow along if you want to improve your English. Now let's go to the advanced level, advanced Netflix series. I have to admit, I have a favorite Netflix series. I'll tell you about that one next, but what a lot of my friends on social media have been talking about is Ozark. I haven't watched this yet, but everyone is talking about it. Have you seen it? Ozark is a very exciting, kind of dramatic thriller of a series that can help you to train your English, especially because you're going to want to keep watching over and over and over. This show has a unique storyline and it's interesting to watch. It's also good for advanced English speakers because you can train your listening to non-standard dialects of English. It's about a family from Chicago where people normally speak standard American English, and they go to the South where you will hear a Southern accent and you can train your ears to that kind of American accent as well. Now, while we're on the topic of Southern American accents, you should watch The Walking Dead. Yes, it's funny, I don't even like horror movies, but I love watching The Walking Dead because every episode makes me want to watch the next one. They leave you with a cliffhanger every episode where you want to know what happens next. Now, The Walking Dead is challenging. You're going to hear Southern American accents, British English accents, and other American English accents as well, maybe from the Midwest or the West Coast or New York or New England. Really, you're going to hear a lot of different accents here, and you're going to hear a character named Ezekiel speak in Old English as if he was an actor in a Shakespearean play. So this is quite difficult to understand. Oh, and let's not forget about Eugene, who speaks in a very unique academic and intellectual way. Now, even for native English speakers, he is difficult to understand. So buckle up, hang on tight, and see how much you can understand of Eugene and Ezekiel, the king, if you really want to challenge your English listening skills. Okay, let me share some tips about how to use Netflix series to improve your English fluency. Now that you have some suggestions about which programs or which series to watch, now let's talk about how to watch them for English learning. If you're a beginner, I do not recommend starting out with the more advanced programs because it can be frustrating if you don't understand most of what you're hearing. So stick to something that has more standard American English to train your listening skills and your pronunciation skills as well. I recommend watching in small chunks. That means not the entire program at first. If the series episode is 45 minutes long, which is an average length, I recommend starting by watching 5 to 10 minutes if you are a high beginner. You can watch more and more, a little more each time if you feel comfortable with that. If you don't understand more than 50%, it's a good idea to turn on those English captions so you can read along and listen at the same time and make sure that you're understanding what's happening in the program. Be patient with yourself. Beginners, it's very tiring to watch a program in another language. I know this because when I was practicing my Portuguese recently, I tried to watch a full movie all in Portuguese, and it was very hard on my brain to process my foreign language skills for that long. Intermediate English speakers, let's challenge you a little bit more. Try to watch an entire episode without stopping, and it's okay if you don't understand every word. Just try to understand the main idea, and then you can always go back and find words that you didn't understand. You can look up the meaning of them or ask a friend if there's part of the episode that you really aren't able to follow. By this time, intermediate English speakers, you should not rely on captions or subtitles. Only if you're checking to see what was that word you heard. If you're not sure, you could check by using the captions. Be patient with yourself and remember that even native English speakers don't always understand 100% of what the characters say on Netflix series. By the advanced level, train your listening skills to understand not only the standard American dialect, but regional accent varieties as well. Don't rely on subtitles or captions, and really make sure that you're challenging yourself to watch the whole series without stopping. This will help you train for tests where you need to listen, or longer conversations or lectures. You know, if you want to listen to other lectures or other kinds of materials that are more academic, I highly recommend TED Talks as well. They're great for advanced English speakers and inspirational. In fact, if you didn't already know, I did a TEDx presentation a few years ago. I'll link to it down in the description so you can check it out if you'd like to watch that. What's interesting when you're watching a more advanced program on Netflix is that there'll be vocabulary that is specific to that program. The first word that pops into mind is from The Walking Dead: walkers. Walkers in normal standard English and everyday English mean people who are walking, but on The Walking Dead it means zombies, those characters that are eating everyone in the zombie apocalypse. So each program might have its own set of inside vocabulary or insider kind of information. What else can you do to have fun and improve your English skills? Netflix parties. Just let your friends know when and what you want to watch and see if they'd like to join you and watch at the same time. You can actually chat about what's going on even if you're at your house and your friends are at their house, even if you're not at the same place. It's a really cool thing we can do with technology to connect and watch together but apart. Also, I recommend keeping a notebook or maybe some notes on your smartphone with new vocabulary words and phrases that you learn during the show. It's important to go back and review those words and phrases so that you can start to remember them and use them when you speak English. And finally, a really fun way to train your American accents is to repeat what you hear characters saying. If you have a favorite character, let's say you're watching The Walking Dead and you really like Rick, well, repeat everything he says as soon as you hear it. Now, I don't recommend this if you're watching with someone else next to you because they might find it a little bit strange or downright annoying. So this is best if you're watching alone on your own time. But by repeating what the characters say, you can practice their pronunciation, their accent, and the way they deliver their words. And this is a powerful way for you to practice speaking on your own, from your own home, for free. So take advantage of your free Netflix English tutors and try this out next time you turn on Netflix. So what is your favorite series? Can you add your suggested series for learning English in the comments? I would love to know, and tell us why you like it. So the name of the series and why we should watch it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to come back next week every Wednesday for a new Go Natural English lesson. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.